I, 29M, have been going to the same gym for the past 10 years. There are a number of trainers that appear to work exclusively with people that have special needs, both physically and mentally. They work in one-to-one sessions, trainers showing them how to use each machine safely and putting together an exercise program for them, and they're also often accompanied by a guardian. I want to say straight away that I have zero issues with this at all. I love going to the gym, and it's great to see others enjoying it too. As long as everyone is working out in a safe way, everything is fine. I've seen what I would call a few near misses, with weights being dropped close to others or machines being used improperly, but I've never seen anyone be seriously hurt. So today I entered the gym and walked past a trainer I hadn't seen before. She was with a guy that I had seen a few times before. I'm not sure what his condition is, so I apologize if any of the following sounds offensive. I don't intend for it to, I'm just explaining what happened. As I walked past, he was loudly counting the number of reps he was doing on the leg press. I continued over to the dumbbells, got set up at a bench, and started my workout. After a couple of sets, the guy came over and stood just next to my bench, about a meter away from me, just staring at me. His trainer was still over at the leg press on her phone. It was a little awkward with him standing there, but he wasn't in my way, so I don't say anything. As soon as I pick up the weight from the bench, he sits down on the bench. As I noticed what he was doing, I just said, "I'm using that Benchmate." But he proceeds to start doing sit-ups, and again loudly counts them out. So this guy is lying back on my towel, wallet, and phone. I repeat again, "Mate, I'm using this one," as I put down the weights and try to pull my belongings out from under his sweaty back. I guess hearing the counting, the trainer notices what happened and came over and apologizes. I just give a nod but don't say anything. I wasn't exactly impressed that she wasn't keeping a better eye on him. I moved a few benches over and thought that was the end of it. Next I was on the bench press, so holding a large amount of weight over my chest. The guy comes over again and stands right next to bench in line to my face, right where I need to put the weights back on the rack, just staring down at me. Again I said calmly, "You need to move, mate. I need to put the weight down." He just stared at me half smiling. I asked him twice more and he just continued staring. Not a single sign that he had understood or even heard me. So I called out loudly for help. Luckily the trainer heard, again coming over to apologize and pull him out of the way. I put the weight back, and then said to her that she needs to keep an eye on him, because he's going to end up getting himself seriously hurt. Some time passes without incident. They're on the other side of the gym, and I'm on one of the cable machines doing tricep pushdowns. I get to my last rep of my last set, and just as I push down, 50 kilograms, 110 pounds of metal raised in the air, from out of nowhere, this guy lets out a huge scream and lunges at the raised weight stack in front of me. Now this is what went through my head in the moment. I'm on my last rep, so I probably had about 2 seconds that I could hold the weight before my muscles failed, and the weight came crashing down. With that weight, there was a good chance that he would be seriously injured. Lost, crushed finger, broken hand, arm, etc. I knew that my last attempts of speaking calmly had yielded zero response from him, and I didn't have time to call for his negligent trainer to come and help. I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Get away from it!" The guy jumped back like he'd had the fright of his life. I lowered the weights and immediately turned around, enraged and looking for the trainer. Well, she was already on the way over, no doubt because she'd heard me yell. "What the hell are you doing? Did you see what he just did?" I ask as the guy starts loudly crying. She comes over and asks why I would yell at him, since he doesn't know any better. I again asked if she'd seen what happened and that he was almost seriously hurt. And yeah, he didn't know better, which is exactly why she should have been there to watch him. I guess the guy's guardian, maybe his mother, unsure, had heard everything as well. She came in, and the trainer immediately tells her that I yelled at him for standing too close. I tried explaining that he was almost seriously hurt, and that he wasn't being supervised properly. We went back and forth, but both the trainer and guardian were not satisfied with my explanation, calling me an asshole for raising my voice to him like that. Next thing I know, they've called one of the other trainers from the gym, who told me to leave, and that they'd be suspending my membership before I was able to explain to him my side of the story. I plan to speak to the manager or another trainer tomorrow, and I'm hoping that it was captured clearly enough on CCTV that I can get my membership back. I know from the title of this post it sounds bad, but with everything else, I don't really think I had any other option. Am I the asshole? Thank you everyone for the advice. I'm a stress head, so I was playing the events over and over in my head all last night. Your comments helped keep me calm and feel more positive about the whole thing. Update. So for the update. I went by the gym this morning and asked to speak to a manager about what happened yesterday. They agreed to see me. I explained everything as I had in my post and asked if they could review the CCTV to see what actually happened and possibly reinstate my membership. I said that I believed the trainer yesterday had misrepresented what happened, as a lot of you pointed out, to hide the fact that she was not neglecting the guy she was meant to be supervising. Surprisingly, he said that this wasn't the first time they had received complaints about that trainer. He said she'd only been there 2 weeks and has already had a complaint from both a client and another trainer from the gym. Though he didn't go into detail about what those complaints were. He said to leave it with him and he'd get back to me. About an hour ago, I got a call from the manager saying he'd reviewed the footage and it was consistent with my story. The first 2 interactions I had with him, with the dumbbells and on the bench press, were clear in the footage. The third time was apparently obscured by some other equipment, but he said it was enough to see the guy approach me from behind without the trainer, and he was willing to take my word about what happened next. My gym membership had been reinstated, and they've given me the next 2 months free. I think I'll be putting that money I saved towards a nice bottle of whiskey. He also said not to worry about the trainer. She won't be around anymore. So I think it's safe to assume she lost her job. Hopefully this is a wake-up call for her, and she won't be putting anyone else in harm's way in the future. Thank you again all for the support and advice.